So, how are we all doing? It's a fine Tuesday night. Most people are out partying and I'm here talking to my camera. Today, we're discussing the book In the Afterlife by Alexandra Bracken. Okay, no, this is not In the Afterlife. Wow. Can you tell I'm sick? The Darkest Legacy by Alexandra Bracken. Okay, so I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I currently live with people who don't know I have a YouTube channel, and they might think I'm crazy if they hear me talking to myself, but we know what's going on. So, let's just first talk about the concept that there's a fourth book in the Darkest Mind series. I love the series. It's my favorite series. I've read it so many times to count. And so when I found out there was a fourth book, I was super excited for it, obviously. But when I found out it was from Zoo's perspective, I was unsure. Now, I liked Zoo's character, but there was nothing, for me personally, when I read the book, there was nothing that personally made me connect with her. So, like, I liked her character, but wasn't, like, super interested in her character. And so when I found out this was taken from Zoo's perspective, I wasn't sure if this was actually going to be good. I thought it would just be one of those books that were so used to Ruby's perspective that by hearing Zoo's, it might be like just the change of voices might be kind of boring. Like, you know, those books are taken from like multiple perspectives and sometimes you just don't like the other people's voices. That's kind of what I'm talking about. But I was super surprised because the author said the normal gang, Liam, Charles, Vita, Ruby and were in the book but not in the way you expected. I thought there was a well balance of that because I wasn't sure what she really meant by that, and I actually really liked the book. I really liked it. Like, I loved the new characters that were introduced, and I liked how the old characters were still in it. And yes, the author was right, they were in it but they weren't in it. There's only one character I wish had more speaking lines. You probably know who I'm talking about, but overall I love this book. But at the same time, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. So just kind of general reviews. So Zoo is kind of working for the government. She does like all these speeches to try to get the PSI back to have equal rights as everybody else. And she is framed for a crime that she does not commit. And so I was intrigued by it. But this is where I started to not like the book. Like I said, when I finished the book, I loved the book. I was like, this is such a good book. But when I sat down to like fully analyze it, I realized it was kind of lacking parts because it seemed like there was this one main plot line that originally drove the story to begin. But then over that plot line, we find a new plot line, which is fine. There's usually plot lines within the plot line because like they were kind of all woven together, so that made sense. But it wasn't until we get to the very end, I felt like the book just ended. Like, I don't know. Maybe I think what I was hoping for, obviously because of like what the book was dealing with, you weren't gonna have like a perfect like, and then everything changed just like that. It was gonna take time. The end of the book ends on like a 2-week later type thing, and I agree that should still be in there, but then maybe after that do like a 2-year later type thing, so you're like, okay, how did all these events happen? Because it feels like once we got the second plot line in of looking for Ruby, it just ended like that, and it was like, oh, we found her and then we did a few things and now it's ended. And I don't know, I wish there was a little bit more like how did the characters' lives go back. It took me a little bit longer to get into it, but once I did, I couldn't put it down. So we find out Ruby and Liam are missing, and first I'm thinking, oh my gosh, are they dead? Because first I think, no, the author's not gonna kill off main characters from her previous book. And I'm like, well, this is literally gonna be the last book of the whole series, so why don't we just start killing off everyone, right? And I was a little skeptical about that. So I guessed right though. So I said they could have been kidnapped. So Liam wasn't kidnapped, but Ruby was kidnapped. So I was putting it together. So when they make it to Haven, not Safe Haven. Is it Safe Haven? No, that is a book, a Nicholas Sparks book. No, Haven. And you're kind of introduced by this new thing and this like concept that Liam and Ruby built like the safe place for kids. It was like so cute and I was so happy. Then we find out this girl Lana's Roman's sister. I was like, holy crap. Now, I thought the characters of Roman and Priyanka were very, very interesting. I liked how the author kind of focused on the not trusting them kind of aspect at first, because I feel like a lot of times in young adult books it's like this main character meets random strangers, go offs with them. It's like, how do you know? Like, stranger danger. And so I was really happy that it ended up being pretty legit. Like, I'm glad they ended up being good people. I kept guessing because I didn't know, because we kept hearing snippets like, oh, Lana, blah, blah. And sure, it was interesting trying to piece it together. And then I even guessed right when I was like, oh, maybe his father's like ahead of something. I thought of the Sing Ring, PSI on rings, poison. I said poison ring. I know that's probably not how you pronounce it. So here we start to find out on page 328 through 29, we start to find out how Roman and Bianca are kind of like, their abilities does not come naturally. They were kind of created. And I was totally guessing it at here. I was like, oh, so does this mean, is this what they meant to create, as in like superhumans, and how they each had drawbacks? And it was interesting. I thought Lana was an orange and she wasn't. She was like this cool like kind of power where she could shut off other powers. So Zoo and Roman Priyanka all go to this barn thing to search for help, and Zoo meets Liam, and the way they described, I don't know what anybody else was picturing here, but when Zoo described him with a beard and like longer hair, I was thinking like Ryan Gosling from The Notebook, you know, that scene. That's what I was thinking of. I don't know if anybody else was thinking that. That's how I was picturing Liam. I don't know why. That was how I was picturing Liam. And that's the thing. All the characters are like 5 years older, and I could not picture them 5 years older. I don't know. Liam just never struck me as type to grow a beard, but I guess it makes sense because like Ruby, the love of his life, is only gone, and what do you do? And then he's wearing like he had a whole lumberjack look going for him. So like I said, we finally find Liam. Liam was like one of my favorite characters in the original series, so when we find him, I'm just like so excited. And I was working, because I work at a library, so I get to read books. It's a pretty cool job. And we find Liam. I was literally just wanted to be like, oh my gosh, I need to share my feelings with someone and I need to express them, but everybody think I'm crazy. I was so happy we found Liam, and like I said, we start to slowly get more characters in, but like I said, we never really talk to Ruby, and I don't like that. And I get why the author might have done that, because we just spent like 3 books in Ruby's head. And so obviously she's talked throughout the whole series, but still I'm like, can't there just be like some Ruby? Little Ruby is my favorite character. So they got to this camp thing, and they were, like I said, I know it's the first book and you couldn't spend a lot of details, but I felt like it kind of just happened too. Like, oh shoot, we're in a camp, now let's get out, first try. And it's like we just spent a whole 3-book series about trying to figuring out how to break through camps, and we just figured this out in 20 pages. Max, the like 4th member of this new gang, he has power to locate people, and when they were locating Ruby, I thought it'd be really cool to read it from Liam's perspective to see, but obviously it'd be kind of pointless just to have one chapter dedicated to another perspective and they go back to being Zoos for the rest of the book. Oh my gosh, the interactions between Liam and Zoo just made me smile. Like when they get in the car to go get Ruby, no, you're a great driver, he says quickly. It's just, why would you listen to this when you could listen to literally anything else? Then Zoo's like, I just turned on the pop music, focus on keeping peace with Vita, change it then. He looked almost horrified at the suggestion. Driver chooses always. And then the best line in the book is, amazing, no one has ever tried to push you out of a moving car. And then he's like, you were my favorite Sue's friend. Now it's him because he at least respects his elders. Just the banter is perfect. Probably hands down my favorite part. Like, I literally was just like underlining whole pages here. Like when Zoo and Roman kiss, I literally wrote the word yes in my book. Like, you knew it was gonna happen. And then how it was with the storm, it was so cute. Let's talk real quick when they storm Leda Corps, I don't know how to pronounce it. Like I said, very 3rd bookish like, but the part where in that one stairwell, well, I always pictured a stairwell, she can't open the doors because it's like one of those where it's only opened if you keep pressing the button. She can't get out, and then she's able to get out, and she looks behind her just as the doors close. It's Roman and Lana, and then the soldiers come, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I was at a coffee shop and I was like, why do I always read the saddest part in public? Like, I'm literally crying my eyes out, and I'm pretty sure I was being judged by everyone around me. But then you find out he's actually alive, and it doesn't make me a bad person if I said I was kind of disappointed about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved Roman's character. Like, he was like one of my favorites in the book. I loved Roman's character, but at the same time, when he dies, I'm like, my ginger heart feel something. Like, I feel emotions. And then when you kind of find out he's alive, it's kind of like, yay, he's alive. Like, I'm happy he's alive. But at the same time, like, it takes away the impact of the emotional trauma I just experienced. So I wish this was actually a duology. As I said in the beginning of the video, I felt like it ended very abruptly. I felt like this could have been maybe stretched out just a little bit more and had at least a duology. I don't know, like honestly I would just read a book where just nothing happens but we're just learning about the characters' lives after this all, and I'd be perfectly content by it. I love the book. It was great. It was well thought out. It was planned. Kept me entertained. I couldn't put it down. But at the same time, when I finished it, I felt disappointed. It's just, I feel like once we got to the part where we're looking for Ruby, the whole plot just changes. I mean, it had connection to Ruby, so there was connection there. Then I felt like Zeus and romance was rushed. Like, you kind of knew they were gonna end up together, and I was totally okay with that. Like, I don't mind if you kind of already know if they're gonna end up together or not. I felt like there was nothing like leading up to it. Like, you could see that Roman is starting to like Zeus, but like there was nothing like cutesy leading up to it and stuff. And it's not like, bam, they're sharing a kiss together, and it's like, whoa, we literally went from here to here. Like I said, a lot of it I think is due just as a standalone book, so you're not able to put a lot of detail in. You just kind of gotta keep going. But like I said, overall I like the book. I'm gonna change it from 5-star to 4.5 star because like I said, I'm gonna just more grid on storyline here because I love the books. Anyways, that was my review. Thank you for watching. Bye!